Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast. I'm Lauren Drapo. Thank you so much for joining us. This week, we meet a former cigar sports editor, visit Wheel of Fortune Live, take a walk around QuadFest, and of course, Zach Petrick will have all things Rhody Athletics covered in this week's Rhody Sports Corner. Last week, students were officially welcomed back to campus with the celebration of QuadFest. Aiden Cahill took us through the event and spoke with University President Marc Parlange about the festivities.
Here at the University of Rhode Island's 4th annual Quad Fest, where the campus's many clubs and organizations get a chance to display themselves in front of the entire student body.
Among the festivities on the quad were a rock wall, yard games, and a goat petting zoo. URI's President Parlange spoke about the importance of hosting these events on campus.
For me, it's so important. This is our 4th Quad Fest. It's my 4th year here, so there's a little correlation. I think the clubs are just amazing at URI. And what I like is that every year new clubs are started, and actually clubs that just recently started are growing and thriving and doing so well. And I just like that inclusive aspect of there's something for everyone at URI, and so you could...
Like other clubs in attendance, the URI Fencing Club sees value in hosting a table on the quad.
I think it's incredibly beneficial just because some people get to come and sort of ask different questions. Because a lot of people see like our club and they're like, oh, this seems interesting, but they're not sure how to go about being like, can I just go and watch? Like, they're not sure how committal it is. So it's nice to be able to talk to everyone and be like, yeah, so like here's like the laydown and everything. So I think it's a nice opportunity to reach out more into the community.
Reporting from the quad, I'm Aiden Cahill. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Aiden. Next up, the popular game show Wheel of Fortune took a trip to Kingston this week. Will Holt has more from the event.
Today I'm at the Ryan Center, where URI is hosting Wheel of Fortune Live.
The main host of the show was Bob Goen, best known as the host of the daytime network version of Wheel of Fortune, as well as Blackout and Perfect Match. Attendees of Wheel of Fortune Live could register to put their names in a randomly selected lot for a chance to be participants in the show. The game started with 3 rounds of toss-up puzzles. Each of these toss-up puzzles had 5 randomly chosen members of the audience to participate in solving it. The winners of the toss-up puzzles would move on to the final round. The final round ended with Elaine on top. However, she was not able to win the bonus round and went home with $250 instead of $1,250.
With the 5 Cent Cigar, I'm Will Holt.
Finally, Morgan Judd sat down with a former cigar sports editor and current high school teacher about his journey through journalism in the Ocean State.
From 1989 to 1993, URI alum Eric White joined the Good 5 Cent Cigar as a sports reporter, working his way up to a sports editor. From the cigar, he learned many skills within the field.
I think I went from being a high school kid who knew how to write pretty well to a journalist, knowing how to get the stories, how to ask the questions, how to expand upon what needed to be expanded upon, how to write a sports story.
After graduating from URI in 1993 with a degree in journalism and working in the field for 11 years, White began teaching English and journalism in 2007 at West Fork High School. Using what he learned from the cigar, today he uses the media broadcasting and journalism pathway to guide students to becoming journalists.
The pathway students they can either work on the morning show and help cover events, either be in front of the camera or behind the camera producing. I like everybody to learn how to do everything and then specialize. If you're going to specialize in one thing, you should know how to work the teleprompter. You should know the basics of production. So you have some idea about how it's done and what other people go through doing it, contributing to the team, because it's a team approach. We just give the kids lots of hands-on experience and work-based hours and learn by doing. And we emphasize that in the classroom and with the events. In my journalism class, I have the kids put out a paper relatively soon. And I know it's not going to be great, but I want to show them that there's many places that they can stumble, setting up the interviews, waiting too long to write the story, not transcribing your interviews in time, things like that. That's great to see the confidence that students get when they realize they can do this stuff. And I think it's the same life I've always lived, but I'm just combining my teaching and the journalism and doing 2 things that I love to do.
This is Morgan Judd with the Good 5-Cent Cigar.
Thanks, Morgan. Looking ahead, here's what's going on this week at URI. On Thursday, October 10th, Bryson Tiller will be performing at the Ryan Center. Tickets are going fast, so be sure to grab yours as soon as possible. Doors open at 7. On Tuesday from 2 to 5 p.m. in the Union Ballroom, the Center for Career and Experiential Education will host the Health and Human Sciences Career Fair. Interested students can have the chance to meet employers and potentially find an internship or job within the health and human services industry. Finally, be sure to make your way to Meade Stadium this Saturday as Rhode Island football battles Brown for the annual Governor's Cup at 1 p.m. On that note, I'll kick it over to Zach Petrick with this week's Rhody Sports Corner.
Thanks, Lauren. Hello and welcome back to the Rhody Sports Corner. I'm Zachary Petrick. Following their 1-0 loss to UMass, the URI women's soccer team returned home with a historic victory over Richmond last week. Chase Abrams has the story.
Thursday night was a historic one here at the URI soccer complex as the Rhode Island women's soccer team netted 6 goals for the first time since 2008. In goal, Danny Eden made her collegiate debut after transferring from Drexel last season, coming away with 8 saves and a clean sheet.
The Rams hosted the Richmond Spiders Thursday night and looked to make a statement right out of the gate. This early corner kick bounced around in the goalie box before finally finding the foot of Courtney Poon, who made it 1-0 in favor of URI. The Spiders then went on the counterattack. Coming into this game still looking for their first win on the road, they looked to respond quickly. However, this athletic save from Danny Eden prevented that from happening. The Rams, hoping to maintain control of the game, moved swiftly into the Richmond defensive zone, but Spiders keeper McKenna Delfonso showed her own athleticism with this acrobatic block to keep the deficit at 1. The score would not remain that way for long, however, as Sam Haggerty ran down the near sideline before delivering a beautiful cross to Courtney Poon again. Her second goal of the game made it 2-0 in favor of Rhode Island. Richmond looked dangerous on this free kick, but Danny Eden was once again up to the task with this nice save. Another lead pass to Sam Haggerty got her name in the score sheet again, with a nice assist to Tiara Garnis this time, whose backheel goal made it 3-0 URI. On this next one, it was Francesca Heighton in the middle of things to force a Richmond own goal and make it 4-0 URI going into the half. The Spiders stayed aggressive going into the halftime break, getting one last shot off, but Danny Eden continued her spotless collegiate debut with another save. This URI corner kick out of the break ended with a goal from Mia Cartensen, making it the 5th goal for URI and their 4th different goal scorer. URI still wasn't done, as Christina Sallant showed off some nice dribble moves on this assist to Tiara Garnis for her 2nd goal of the game. Rhode Island 6, Richmond 0 is your final score. From the URI Soccer Complex, I'm Chase Abrams.
Thanks, Chase. Volleyball continued their Atlantic 10 play over the weekend, looking to take down the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. Emma Roberts has the story.
Following their losses to Dayton last Saturday, the Rams look to recover in tonight's matchup against Loyola Chicago.
Loyola started out strong with a clean kill from sophomore middle blocker Avery Dibliek. Rams respond positively with a swing from junior right side Aaron Bowman for a nice kill there. Response from Loyola with a beautiful set from Bree Boren to Kate Maley for the kill. Rams with a single block from Bowman that goes right into the floor, but unfortunately not enough. Loyola takes the first set 14-25. Loyola starts off the second set with a line shot from Malley. Then we see a gorgeous back row set from senior setter Katie Butler to Andrea Owens for a nice back row kill. Butler sets another nice ball for freshman middle blocker Haven Roll, who puts it down for the kill. Here's what Butler had to say about their connection.
Haven's just awesome. We have a cute little handshake before the game. I think we just work well together. We talk well together. It's all about communication and trusting each other, and I think our team has been trusting each other really well.
And an ace from Dakota Henry, the Rams take the second set 25-22. Rams start the third set with a right side swing from Megan Dissou for a nice kill there. Immediately into another kill for the Rams from middle blocker Chloe Abuto. Loyola responds with a nasty kill from Esma Ajonovic, followed soon after by a monster block by Sydney Hutchins. Not enough to keep out Chicago. With a kill from Anne-Marie, Loyola takes the third set 25-23. Fourth set starts strong from the Rams with a kill from Bowman to start it off. Beautiful set from Kiera McCarles to Bowman for a killer swing. With a solid rally from both sides, Rams take the fourth set 25-23, forcing a fifth. Another incredible swing from Haven Roll to start the Rams off, immediately followed by a setter dump from Bree Borum to give Loyola their first point of the match. Loyola puts it away with the swing from Marta Savikovic, ending the set 15-8.
The Rams were unable to pull away with a win tonight, losing 3-2 in a fifth set to Loyola Chicago. From Keeney Gymnasium, I'm Emma Roberts.
Now let's take a look at some of our other scores around campus. Football traveled to Virginia to take on Hampton over the weekend, defeating the Pirates in double overtime to move to 4-1 on the season. Men's soccer traveled to Illinois to take on Loyola Chicago, taking them down 1-0 before returning home to take on Duquesne. Women's soccer traveled to Dayton to take on the Flyers after their historic win over Richmond. They fell 1-0. Volleyball fell in both matches to Loyola Chicago over the weekend before Fordham came to town on Wednesday. And lastly, rowing came in first at the head of the Riverfront event in Connecticut on Saturday. That marks their first win of the fall season. That's all for this week's edition of the Rhody Sports Corner. To stay updated with all things URI athletics, make sure to follow us at cigar_sports. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Zach. That's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us here and on Instagram at Rhody Cigar and pick up our print paper anywhere on campus to stay up to date with all of your Rhody news. Until next week, I'm your host, Lauren Drapeau. This is the Good 5 Cent Cigar Newscast, and as always, have a great week, Rhody.